Let's start writing code. But before you start to write code, there are few things you will need to install, and hopefully you will have some kind of design. So let's start with design. I have opened my Cranky's bicycle design in here, and I created this design in Photoshop. It's a small design, and this design shows how should my homepage look like. And actually, if you are a UX UI designer, I am really sorry for you to witness this horror. But the main point I want to make is that this is very useful to have some kind of design. In this design, I would include things as color theme, or think about how would your app look like on different devices like phone or tablet, or maybe think about how pages you need. I actually didn't think about all of these things. I have this first page look, some colors in here, and I also have my asset folder with images. Overall, this is it for design part. And if you think about things that you will need to install, basically there are two things that you will need for sure at the beginning. It's some kind of editor where you will write your code. I would suggest Visual Studio Code, and I will also use Visual Studio Code, and also Node.js, which you will need for sure. So just go to Google, write them in search, don't load it, it's that simple, and it's also free. Third thing that I suggest you would also install at the beginning, but it won't be needed at the beginning, and it is Git. It's basically for you to put your projects on GitHub later stages. When you will be done installing all those programs and hopefully create some kind of design for you, you will need to open Visual Studio Code. And in here, if you don't see terminal, you just click on View and click on Terminal. And in Terminal, you need to create your first React app, and this is done very simple. You just write npx create React app, and then there is the title of your app. In my case, Cranky Bicycle. Okay, and you just wait when it gets installed. When your React app is created, you will see a folder with your app's name in here, and if you click on this app, you can see all these folders and files in here, and you can start hacking. So actually, before I will start to clean the folders and files for this project, I can just open this on my browser and see how it looks. So basically you will write npm start, and you will get an error. Good. Why did I get an error? Let me think. Okay, so basically I was not in correct directory. This means that you will need to go to the correct directory. It's done by writing cd and, sorry, not this, but going on Cranky Bicycle. So when you go to correct directory, you will just run this up from here. So you can see that the React app is working. Let's just start cleaning this up a little bit. So I will go to source file. I will delete app test. I probably won't need this one, this, and this one. I will go to index file, remove this. I won't need this one. Let's delete this one. What do I have here? Remove this line, these lines of code, and I will just simply write something for us to see. Okay, so you can see that we have our app now looking like this. When you are done kind of cleaning this part, I actually like to also clean a little bit of public folder. So I will go to index file and I will also remove these lines. I will rename title of my app. And later I will input also link for font style, but for now I will leave this as it is. I will also remove fav icon because I don't need this one. And also I will use not Firefox, but I will use Google Chrome. Let's remove it here. Okay. So the fav icon, in my asset folder I prepared my fav icon. So where's my fav icon? It's not in here. Okay, so I have my fav icon here. I will just simply drag and put it here, and I will rename the file extension to icon. And if I will refresh this app, you can see that I have my new fav icon with the title, with the new title, and some kind of text in here. Okay, so I guess let's start creating some kind of folders for our app. Remember when I said that you can kind of create these 3 files and write some kind of small website? Well, it's correct, but it's a small website. If you want to create a bigger website, or if you are working on a bigger project, you will need to use some kind of other tools to be more efficient. Imagine that you have 1000 lines of codes in here, and it's kind of very messy and not very understandable. So I am personally using React, which is a framework, and I will write the same code I would write in HTML, CSS and JavaScript files, but there is some kind of differences, how it's structured. So here I have a React project which I worked on before. You actually already saw some of the files before, but I will kind of explain the main concept of this in my way. So let's imagine this is a block, and inside this file, which is a block, you have stuff that you can import in, and also information are sent out of this block using this function. And inside this function there are div tag, which returns some kind of HTML or JavaScript, and this information, this block, is passed to the another block. And inside this block you can see, sorry, not this, but this, you can see you have this app block, and it's sent to the next block, which is index HTML block. And this is basically what shows up in your browser, and in this div you have ID, which is kind of connecting this index.js block. So basically, if I would remove this line, nothing would show up in browser. To sum this up, you have index file, which shows index.js file, and this index.js file shows the blocks which you will add here. In this case there is only app block, but if I click on app block, you can see that I have other many blocks. I have home block, I have product list block, I have products, cars, logins, registration, and these blocks are in here. I went a little bit ahead and I created some files and folders. It is pretty simple and straightforward, so I didn't record it. But there are some important things that I want to point out. You can see I have this page folder and I have this component folder. And what is the difference? So to my website, I will have these pages about bicycle event home, and I will also have these components. And the main difference is that these components is the blocks which I will kind of use on each of these pages. Every page will probably have footer and header. So I will create block of code in here, and I will just pass this block of code in each of these pages. The other thing that I created is database, and into this database folder I have these two files, and I am just storing information into these files, and I am kind of passing this to my components. And with images file I will probably grab some kind of images from internet, and I will just list them here, and then I will use these images into my component. There is also an asset folder, and into this folder I have only my video. The next thing I will probably need to do is to link all of these files together. For example, let's link this footer to about page, and then this about page let's insert into the app.js file. So I will need to go to footer. I will use a shortcut which is RAFCE. It will automatically create a function for me. I will immediately import CSS file. So I will import and the file's name. I will save it. Now I will import this footer.js file to about into my about.js file. So I will again use the shortcut. You will need to import footer file. And now if you want to go outside the folder, because you need to kind of reach this file, you will need to use ... So you're going outside about folder, then slash, then you're going outside page folder. So again, ... And then you can immediately see that it shows component folder. So you're going inside component folder, then slash, then footer, then slash, and footer file JS. And it shows me an error. And I think I have some kind of issues with Visual Studio or my computer. So I will just save it. I just closed Visual Studio Code and I opened this. I don't want to restart my computer, so let's just go further. I will add in here footer component. And now I will link this about to app.js file. So I will go into app.js file. I will import in here, if I can spell it correctly, about from, no, it's in this folder, so it will be page, it will be about JS. Okay, so let's keep this hello world, but down here I will import my component about. I will save this, and if I take a look on here, I see absolutely nothing. Why is this? Am I importing here the correct thing? Okay, what's in the footer? Okay, let's just close, probably because I closed the Visual Studio file and then I opened this. So I will need to cd into correct directory. Now I need to run npm start. Okay, so I can see I have this footer component and I have this hello world text, which I can see in here. So in this way I will link all of these files together. So I will see you in the next video.